Come on for whom, gods? Come on for whom, gods? Everybody to the limit. Everybody to the limit. Come on with the whom, gods.
On for more gods.
I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Everybody to the limit, everybody to the limit, everybody come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Everybody to the limit. Who's that? It's to the limit. Everybody come on for Hogwarts, guys. Come on for Hogwarts, guys. I see you jocking me, trying to play like you know me. I'm like, come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Everybody to the limit. The cheat is to the limit. Everybody come on for Hogwarts, guys. I say, ooh, ah, for Hogwarts, guys. I say, ooh, ah, for Hogwarts.
We don't know how to manage this split. And again, this split is between upper and lower registers. And there's going to have to be a split. And as it dawned on me at one point today, enchantment is the space where upper and lower register meet. Right there is the zone of enchantment. And
I guess it all kind of is.
Is there a part where you're drawing in this, Grim? Grim! What? Okay, here, yeah. There you go.
won't be resolved with the death of one or the victory of the other.
See, that's correct, because what we have in this Vader situation here, that's not a smooth zoom at all. What we have in the Vader situation here and in the conflict, that looks like an awful lot like a penis there, Grim. Conflict between the two. And if this was an appropriate tool system, I could just, I don't want to. Thank you for demonstrating your incompetence. Paste. Can I? Paste. No, that thing I just copied. Okay, what have I selected? Select it, and then copy it, and then paste it. Hey, look at that, I can do it. Okay, so like this one is Vader over here. Wait, no, grab the pencil. The Vader over here, and this one is Luke. And what we have is both of them are super special guys. This guy had a head start, and he's aligned himself in the following ways, okay? So the thing is, but where's the first part where you draw it? Yeah, that part.
Sabers. And won't be resolved with the death of one or the victory of the other.
So that happened. That's what's in the zone, right? And like on certain times and certain occasions with certain friends, one can cozen indigo. And I learned this from an essay Carl Sagan wrote one time. Back in the old G plus days. And also back in I remembered earlier in the shed, and I'm remembering in front of you for you now. Remembering again. Remember, embody. You have left a whole bunch of notes instead of having this ready. We're here to rescue you. You're here to rescue you. Remember, embody. You're here to rescue you. That was a major cause, and in Shawshank is no agency. That's a great note, Graham. Shawshank is no agency. Remember, embody. You're here to rescue you. And Shawshank, there's no agency, whatever that means. This guy.
See, that's correct, because what we have in this Vader situation here, that's not a smooth zoom at all. What we have in the Vader situation here and in the conflict between the two, and if this was an appropriate tool system, I don't want to.
In case you didn't know, if you're watching on your desktop, you can use the arrow keys if you're clicked into it to jump forward. It's very handy.
Select it, and then copy it, and then paste. It's the following ways, okay? So the thing is, where is it? Like, he's got his survival set, you know? He knows how to survive, and he's got his internal self.
This is it. Okay, so in this zone of proximal development that Paul was talking about. See, I can clip all that other shit out, you see. That's the beauty.
There's the split. We don't know how to manage this split. Lose the enchantment. And we can all see it. There's the split. We don't know how to manage this split. And again, this split.
So much so that we jump around in a 36-second clip.
Split is between upper and lower registers. And there's going to have to be a split. And as it dawned on me at one point today, enchantment is the space where upper and lower register meet. Right there is the zone of enchantment.
All right. And then within the zone of enchantment, you have this layout within yourself and like all life, essentially. The neat, funny thing about humans, like, okay, so like lower level beasts, consciousness goes that they have survival instinct. They have a sense of self, perception of self. They have social interaction, and they can maybe love. But like, you get into the wisdom bit, and not so. And then the fancy indigo cognition where you can pretend. Like, It's very. The lower level your consciousness, the harder it is to project your sense of self outside yourself into other persons, and then like I would imagine it's hard for the corn to know the farmer's options, right? Even if they watch for a long time, they won't. Whatever. You guys get it. Here, this guy can talk.
Mastery, which is what makes this one shine. And then he's got his social dynamics, which.
Whoa. Remember, Embody, if Grimgris sees the chat, he might get to integrity ploth. Integrity ploth. That's a great note there. Oh. Let's not look at that right now. Okay. What is it part of? I don't know. I typed it earlier and it's off the screen now. Remember, Embody, Shawshank is no agency. Storied Egregores, Human Telos 3, because this is the third one in the series. And like, I'm going to say 2 was probably the lowest point because, like, as the Lucasfilm taught us, you go like, this is how bad it is. This is how bad it's getting. Yay, save the day, right? This makes me want to like do one of these what do they call them? Like if I had it on me, if I could make it happen like this, you would now see the clip from Westworld where she's being interviewed by Bernard, and she asks him about himself, and she was like, ingratiation scheme. That's what it took for me to remember the phrase ingratiation scheme. So as an ingratiation scheme, here's a story of how the Star Wars trilogy saved my life. You see, once upon a time, I was looking for reasons not to end my physical existence, and I found none in the scientific logical appeal of atheism, and Buddhism seemed like pointless. Anyway, and what happened was, Darth Maul had fallen down a horrible shaft, presumably to his doom. But I did not know how the situation would resolve in the forthcoming episode 5, whatever. And so, like, as an excuse not to commit suicide, I was like, I need to know what happens to Darth Maul. Because he's the... And like, if you watch the cartoons, he comes back with spider legs. It's awesome, but it didn't make the film canon. Whatever. Saved my life for a while. Or, if anybody needs an excuse not to kill themselves, give them one. Stay tuned for more from Egregores after this short reading session from the Stolen Journals. Stolen Journals. The trance state of prophecy is like no other visionary experience. It is not a retreat from the raw exposure of the senses, as are many trance states, but an immersion in a multitude of new movements. Things move. It is an ultimate pragmatism in the midst of infinity, a demanding consciousness where you come at last into the unbroken awareness that the universe moves of itself, that it changes, that its rules change, that nothing remains permanent or absolute throughout all such movement, that mechanical explanations for anything can work only within precise confinements, and once the walls are broken down, the old explanations shatter and dissolve, blown away by new movements. The things you see in this trance are sobering, often shattering. They demand your utmost effort to remain whole. And even so, you emerge from that state profoundly changed. Thanks, Grim. That was great, bro. What was that from? That's Frank Herbert, God Emperor of Dune. And in front of every chapter of the story, there's a nice slice of Stolen Journal. And that was one of those. I believe it's in that book. Because you see, our good friend The Bangs was on Twitter talking about reading Dune. And like, I think got talked out of making it way through the whole series. And I don't like, one of my pet peeves is like people not being able to communicate to you from what they've read that makes it worth reading for yourself. Like, why can't, if Plato changed you so much, why can't you just, like, why don't I see it in you, or why can't you communicate it to me? And wow, asshole, thanks. Savings throws, everybody. Hey, remember, Embody, roll a savings throw against my narcissism. Survivalists, you're fuckered. Nat 1. Socialists, 7. 7 is enough to make it. If you're also wearing Get Lamb's EMF beanie purchased with special referral code available in the Discord somewhere. Oh, wow, that hurt. Okay, 7 is. Sophist, 5, even with a hat, you're going to need some bonuses or good stats, you know. And the Heart folks, also a nat 1, because there's like some severe ingratiation schemes coming. So if you're, if you're particularly vulnerable, go watch Joe Rogan some more. Sally, good to see you. Repton, Toots, Brad. I haven't read a word you've said yet, but I just did your names, right? Hey, you're virtually not alone. Welcome to the Hive Mind. Chat. I'm not currently interfacing with the Hive Mind chat, but through the magic of the internet, all your words will be there when I get around to it, unless you delete them and or moderate it. What are these penises on the screen?
Which is this one side. But this is the part right here. He's turned his heart inward. He's reciprocally narrowed his love muscle instead of reciprocally broadening. And the conflict between Vader and Luke is the choice to either reciprocally broaden or reciprocally narrow, and that is our current understanding of good and evil. Maybe. Um, that I wanted to say, and then also I wanted to say.
I guess they'll have to tune in and see that themselves. That was from Storied Egregores Human Telos, Part 2, the live stream. Available somewhere on my YouTube channel still, I think. Here's something.
In their pipe, and all you smell is bubble gum. And roses and all these different elaborate smells. Just you don't smell it.
All right, that you should get the whole context for that one.
No, it's not.
Nah.
But let's carry on.
We're gone. Vaping took smoke ring blowing to the next level.
Hey, buddy pal. What is that tool this is System Failure 3, his third channel. And I Am Magic, who's a friend of mine, a channel forthcoming, as I understand it. He's got this fancy tool that lets him put just one chat word on a thing at a time. What is that? I want to know, thank you. Remember, Ambody, Shawshank is no agency. Find Red, because he knows how to get shit. That's what we're looking for. I thought it was Tyler. That plebeic aristocrat guy, I thought that was him. I don't know how red he is. Lance Cleaver might be red. Lance, are you red? Anyway, watch these guys. I gotta pace for a minute.
You know what? The vaping is years ago. You used to walk past a pub or a place, and there'd be 5 or 6 people outside smoking. Or at the beginning of, you weren't to smoke, and you go out and if you weren't to smoke, the smoke would annoy you. But now you walk past a group of people outside and they're vaping, and all you smell is bubble gum. And roses and all these different elaborate smells. Just you don't smell a cigarette anymore. You just smell you smell like a fucking rose when you're walking down. And they all have the different flavors. You smell like either bubble gum or chocolate or I don't know what other stuff, vanilla. You smell like an ice cream walking around with one of them. But I suppose
there are worse things to smell like, man.
Yes, you can smell like a skunk, like your brothers. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that.
Have you ever smelled a fox?
Yeah, have you ever smelled a fox? It's in the box. It's in the box.
Have you ever smelled a fox in a box? Have you ever smelled a fox in a box? A box in a box? But why, bro? I like it. Look, a box with a cat in it. That's funny, because the joke they're making is sort of a Schrodinger reference. Enjoy your day. Yes, Toots is great. Toots is the first in the Discord to get trustee status, which means they've shown me such time and attention that I feel I must reward them with something, and it's stuff to do and the fancy badge in the Discord, apparently. Your book club is also reading Dune. No, put their words on, man. What are you doing? Well, you haven't even pasted the thing, and sometimes it's all white because you don't have his fancy tool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see what happens. What do you guys look like? Hey, you're dark because it's after dark. I'm streaming, so they put the black one on. To approach fear and how your intent as a leader doesn't play out how you want never left me. Also, the creepy android abducting the mother was horrifying. It's Read Dune month. Good night, Sally. Watch the replay. But the reason I bring up the God Emperor of Dune is because the only way you get the full story of Aaliyah the Abomination is if you read all the way through, and that's the most interesting story to me. Aaliyah the Abomination. And my most favorite part that I wish I can't, like that you'll get from me if you read it all the way to that part is there's this line, somebody says, "Who's laughing?" That scene. Oh my God. Kills me. Oh. The resonance, babe. The resonance. Okay. There's some news. PVK got the big talk with the apostle of purpose himself, in which I'll point out he does not deny you're the apostle of purpose. No. He doesn't do that. Petty. Remember, embody. Storied Egregores. Human Telos 3. Yeah. Anyway, this part. Check this out.
But I think that
within my vocation, but I do have, when do you know if Jordan Peterson was baptized as an infant?
No, I don't think so.
Because United Church of Canada, they do infant baptism. But,
maybe it's possible.
So betting markets in terms of how to mark Jordan Peterson's conversion, and also John.
Nothing like a Calvinist pastor setting up betting markets.
Vervaeke's conversion. I think John is, he's into Neoplatonism now, and I'm just thinking we started with Plato and Socrates. We're into Neoplatonism. We'll be,
Well, for sure, George. I don't know if you know it. I don't think it's been put up yet, but I did a podcast with Michaela.
Oh,
yeah. They said they would put it out before the beginning of January. I don't know why it hasn't been put out.
And it released the day of this recording. And there's something we're gonna talk about now. No. Wait. Yes, always. But I already have that open over here. I haven't watched. That's as far as I made it in, Gavin. But I'm watching. Oh, look. Yeah, that's probably bullshit, right? Betty White Deadpool endorsement. This is good. This is important. The bits in here. Like, you can read it yourself or get it on Audible or whatever, but... Oh, she's also hiring. Hire her to do After Dark. Gulags. This part was interesting. Here, I'll share.
And so how are the Russian viewers responding to my reliance on Alexander Solzhenitsyn and my use of the events in the Soviet Union in the 20th century? I don't know how Solzhenitsyn is regarded in Russia now.
People in Russia have a critical attitude towards him in general. Solzhenitsyn is a unique writer, and this is recognized by everyone. However, what he described in his works is rather his point of view. It's a cry from his heart. It's a work of fiction. And the problem is that this work of fiction began to be perceived as a documentary. And when the Soviet Union began to fall, those who dealt the final blows to it, they did it in the name of Solzhenitsyn. And it was really hard for the ordinary people, because after 1991, more than 100,000 enterprises were closed down. Overnight, the country plunged into chaos, and for 20 years all the media kept telling us that all the people in our country were to blame for the Soviet Union, and that they had to redeem themselves in the eyes of Alexander Isayevich, in the eyes of the Western world. And it caused people a lot of pain, because they weren't doing anything wrong. They were working in institutes, they were translating books, they were raising children, and then suddenly all the media started humiliating them. And the sense of guilt they tried to create was so painful that after 1991, in the 90s, there was a huge wave of suicides. People didn't know how to live their lives anymore. This information kept being shoved in their faces. They kept being told that it was their fault that people were being exterminated in the concentration camps, although they had nothing to do with it. And that is why people have mixed...
So, like, even when you don't have anything to do with what they're doing to the unvaccinated, they're going to blame it on you and make you feel bad.
feelings towards Alexander Isayevich, and everyone understands that it was a terrible time and a very difficult one. And this
Guys, who's that for? Why is it? Who is that for? Guys, I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hogwarts guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hogwarts guys. I said,
oh, this is you got us some of this.
What you?
Oh, this is insane.
So, and I'm sorry that that's how you feel, but...
Well, it's just the truth. I mean, you've done nothing for me, except just allowed me to dance around in this delusion.
Well, I've done what I've been trained to do, which is to help you to figure out what you need to do for you. My job isn't to tell you what to do.
Well, maybe it should be. Maybe it should be in some cases. For instance, right? For instance, one of your clients says they're going to kill themselves. What are you going to do?
In that case, then I'm going to probably call to get help, and I'm going to do something.
Right, right. But instead, if your client says, I really want to start hormones and I want to, do that, and I want to harm myself through that, I want to sterilize myself and, cause myself horrible health conditions and medicalize myself for life, well, then you're like, okay, well, let me set you up with the doctor. Let me help you with that. That's.
It's not my area of expertise.
But it's still self-harm. They're hurting themselves, and you're facilitating that. One instance you call the police to put them in a psych ward. The second instance, you send them to a doctor to help them sterilize themselves and ruin their lives. And I'm speaking.
I don't know. It's in here somewhere. Sorry, guys. I know you'd really like me to focus on the Michaela demons. There it is. Look at those thumbnails. I mean, come on. He's so happy.
Suffered.
Hallucinated a demon.
I guess that's what we'll be talking about here on.
So I'm hoping I can stay humble during those experiences. Because and I think maybe, well, I think that's also partly what brought me to where I am now, because the good experiences were also totally unbelievable.
Yeah.
Whereas things can be so bad it doesn't make sense, but they're also so good that it didn't make sense too. So that's not me.
Well, I think it actually is you. It seems that's actually you. Like, you seem to, at least the way you're describing to me, you seem to attract extremes. And so it's bound to, if you attract the extreme in one direction, there's a high chance that you'll attract it in the other direction too. And so that's why, I guess that's why I said just to be careful. But I think it's wonderful. I mean, I think it's great that you had that experience and that you're also acting on it, right? Because you could have just left it and said, oh, okay, here's this experience, and then move on with your life.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was way too intense to do that. There's no way. Yeah. Okay.
And so are you able to talk about it with your family?
Yeah. I mean, I talked about it, like I said, when the first time when I felt things aligned, I associated it with a switch in health. And that is part of why I was feeling better, but it was like on another level. And I talked to my family about it. And then when they've been able to say, well, maybe it was because of this, got sensitive to light and sound and like touch and carbs. So like sugars and chemicals. But the first time I had a severe reaction, I talked about this on Rogan. I was like, I had a whole bunch of soy and my bed out. And 2.5 days later, I hallucinated a demon on my brother. And I was like, okay,
What?
That happened. I was like, okay, that looked real. It was like 1.5 seconds long. So it wasn't just a flash. It was like it looked at me and then looked away. And
Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, especially friends of the channel, how difficult. Close your mouth, girl.
I tried not.
How difficult it is for me not to go like that happened when she does that line, like to go and splice in my what do you call it, I don't know, the horse I beat till it's dead over that. about the Mandela staring experience, and says, "Well, that happened." It's really hard for me not to do that. I had to at least say to not do it. So
I'd have a panic attack, and was like, okay, I've gone off of my medications and now I'm crazy. Like, great. That's the most logical explanation here. But I was like, no, it seems to coincide with this soy reintroduction. It's some sort of inflammatory response, like whatever. But I had similar experiences with like face.
So she can eat soy and get superpowers.
Faces, really terrifying, like teeth faces, off and on for about a year. Every time I tried to reintroduce a food that my body didn't like, I'd have a like full-blown autoimmune response, and I'd start seeing these like demon faces. Mm-hmm. But I just thought, okay, that's the representation of what people are most scared of, like a predator. And so when I'm having these depressive reactions, which are an autoimmune response, and my body starts panicking, then it's putting something there that's scary to kind of justify how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So go check that conversation out, guys, and talk about it. I think he basically gives her advice for bipolars and avoiding mania and what follows. And I think the important thing is demons. Demons, guys.
And the problem with these movies is that if you don't get it right, you lose the enchantment, and we can all see it.
This is what YouTube recommends me. What does it recommend you? Let's go see what they called my home. Hey, me! I should watch myself. How to pronounce the Star Trek way. How to wean yourself from dopamine. What? Is that life advice? Transcending a certain colorlessness with Chris. Oh, it's a Chris Petkow bit. Okay, I'll watch that.
That's why it's the gray life. That's why it's the gray life, right? The
gray life, yeah.
Gray life, right? The quote you used at the beginning of the zombie book was from Huxley. You know, not the black death, not the black death, not the black death this time. It's the gray life, and there is a distinct purgatorial there's a sort of a purgatorial ambience to that feeling, a certain colorlessness.
We give people the transformation, we're always in between. We're in the bardo between transcendence and immanence, mind and matter, subjective and objective, individual and group. Like, we're always there. We're always there. This is the great Socratic insight. That is humanity. And that can either degenerate into ambivalent ambiguity, like Chris is saying, or it can rise to the level, right? It can rise to the level of self-transcendence. It can rise to the paradox of that we're transcendent and immanent. Like, if you hear the paradox is only nonsense, you have to be able to, the transformation is, you go from hearing the paradox as nonsense into hearing it as superset. Nonsense, superset. Nonsense, superset.
A certain colorlessness.
And speaking those ancient propositions when we don't have the hearing will do us no good. We have lost our hearing. We have lost our hearing. And speaking those ancient propositions, we have lost our hearing. Do us no good. We have to recover the hearing. For the hearing, we have to recover the hearing. I can't remember which one of the Weinsteins introduced this idea, but ran with it a little bit independently. Digital campfire. Weird, because it breaks a lot of the social grammar. Your face is very large for me right now. No. That's the point. Mine is for you too, or for the viewers. I just met you. This victory. Get to places that we couldn't get to on our own. Wow, because of that, I got somewhere I couldn't.
Out of 100, somehow extract that.
Sorry, it took me a while to find the right spot. You know what it's like, fellas?
In the mouths of the people, and then we gather in small groups.
Oh, this is wonderful.
And recover gems, little moments. Aha! This is what I've been doing my life. This meta-extractable point, people that I've come into contact with, take the content of this dialogue right here. One person out of 100. Somehow extract that piece and transmit it across time.
Oh.
They come on for Hogwarts, guys. Say, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Who's it to the limit? Say me. I'm to the limit. Everybody come on for Hogwarts, guys.
All right. It's time. I have 2 deliveries to make to maintain integrity. First of all, I have to say, I have to be honest here about the sizzle. Somehow, we're up, and yay encouragement. Little R became big R if it comes through on the first. I got so excited. Oh, shit balls. Look at the notes I left for myself here. Wow. Redemption on... redemption songs. These songs of freedom. All I ever had. Redemption songs. Alright, that's worth getting paint out for. But first, I'm gonna visit Burn Powers. Burn, the Andromeda, that guy. What are you up to, Burn? Oh yeah, I need to watch that one. Nah. Where's the one with me? The one with me, Vern. But Vern, why'd I call him Vern? Jules Verne? Is he Jules Verne? What's going on with this? 14. Yeah. Wisdom, the sophist, got a 12 like disciples, and a heart, double 9s. Good going.
And it was getting more and more difficult for her to do so. And in the end, it was just me and her in a room, not in a hospital. She didn't want to die in a hospital. I didn't want her to die in a hospital. She stopped eating the last 7 days. And I just said, okay, well, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. It's obviously, this is the end game. So I just said, let me get out my paper, start writing and noting everything.
Talk about an ingratiation scheme. Wow, dude. Wow. Okay. So, the story of Molly. Here we go. Redemption songs. All I'm looking for a picture. Ever hate. There we go. Hey, Chad, what's going on? That's who was operating as Molly. And that's the picture that went up on the Facebook today that got some guy to come by and take her from here, theoretically to see if his Yorkie could get along with her, which apparently did not work out. After this morning, Senor Buddy the cat came home from not being able to be in the house with a swollen leg, which was excuse enough for me to face the reality of my situation and my ability to care for a dog, and admit to myself I was in over my head and try to rehome her. Or at least that's what the part of me coping with it is telling myself. You know how that goes. Because, like, look at this. This is like unconditional love. I betrayed with, like, this is the picture I took to betray her with. She had a hatchet on the back of her neck. And I called her Molly. And we played fetch. And she never did anything wrong. She was just cold outside, like, 9 days ago, and I was like, oh shit, and I let her in the house, and then like the people who were taking care of her weren't around to do it anymore, and so I tried for a while, and I want to say, there's this other part of me that's like, you know, every day you like would get up in the morning, do what you did, and then take her for a drive around this town and then back to this house. So, and they say if you love something and you let it go and it comes back to you, then but I'll still have to deal with the cat situation. So I don't know how that could work out. But there is that part of me. And there you go. I'm a piece of but there's an ingratiation scheme because I told you. And that's copyright, so I have to sing "The Hook Brings You Back."
I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Everybody to the limit, everybody to the limit, everybody come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. I said, come on for Hogwarts, guys. Everybody to the limit.
Ladies and gentlemen, hot in the chat from a wrench, from the hive mind, fragmented dude person. Where are you guys? Where am I? What is clips? Oh, clips is when you play. You're looking for this one. Okay, yeah, here I am. Here we are. Hot in. So far, so hot it's not even scrolled up because nobody said anything. I'm really interested for your thoughts on this guy, mysterious link that says Jack. So let's find out what is. Let's go. Let's do it, guys. We can do it. Jack Parsons, the rocket engineer? Check. What? Wikipedia does not have an article with this exact. You gave me a link to a page that's missing? What's going on here? What is this? Did I mean that? A Thelemite occultist. I know nothing of the Thelemites, my man. However, I am now interested in Thelemites. So if anybody has anything on Thelemites, put it in the Discord. We have rooms for that. Like, put it in the tavern, and then we'll tell you where to put it, and never put it in the wrong spot again. That's generally how it works. If it works. Does it work? Hyunshu and Nate. Oh, that's it. I was going to do some Discord infiltrates because, like, there's been folks doing some reapings that I need to, like, publish. Oh, the pen. I do have a picture of the pen. Huh, what do you know? There's a picture of the pen in the right room of my Discord. Reaping room, dude. Your Discord is a mess. No, you are. Oh, here's one from Hyunshu himself. Although it's like just somebody else did it on Twitter and he shared it. So
Nazi spoke outside his family's Bronx home after being suspended for wearing a swastika while driving a New York City cab. Not just once, but multiple times. Photos sent to the Anti-Defamation League and to the Taxi and Limousine Commission sparked an investigation. 26-year-old Gabriel Diaz tells me he knew the symbol would offend some people, but denies being anti-Semitic.
I don't hate Jews. I'm critical of them, but I don't hate them. That doesn't mean that I'm anti-Semitic.
You wore a Nazi armband.
That doesn't
to wear a black armband when they shot the man who said peace could last forever. My first memories, they shot Kennedy. Gavin recommended this clip.
All the people saying, like, I wouldn't want to bring a baby into this world. Like, that's a propagandized argument. And, like, they probably have never even thought about, like, why wouldn't you bring a baby into this world? Like, that would make you become a person that needs to be able to protect a baby. That's the kind of, the world needs grown-ups who are willing to protect babies, and it needs babies who grow up with good parents. And, like, if everybody did that, the world will be great in, like, one generation, but like, the fact that, like, it's like a meme saying, like, people will say it like the same way and it has that effect. Or, like, obviously, like, it's kind of funny, like, in this pandemic, like,
Jesus. Well, one thing you might ask yourself is, do you believe that each individual is divine in some sense? And I would say, well, perhaps not, but you act as though you do. And our law acts as if it does. It's predicated on that idea, because the sovereignty of the individual is the divinity of the individual. There's no difference between those two things. And I can make an absolutely brutally clear case for the development of that idea historically. I've traced it back to Mesopotamia, at least in its earliest written
Good night,
forms.
Nolan.
I mean, originally...
Don't forget, Grim, you play chess with that guy on Sunday. I know. Is it Sunday? No, but in 2 days, you play chess with that guy. Good night.
The only real sovereign individuals were the sovereigns, right? The emperors and pharaohs. But that the idea of the sovereign individual descended down the hierarchy of power, so to speak, until with Christianity it was universalized. We're each sovereign individuals, and that means that the law itself is written as if we each contain a spark of divinity. And so then I think, well, what is that divinity? And in the Christian worldview, well, that's the logos. That's the true speech that brings forth habitable and good order from the chaos of potential.
And in your view...
And that was a clip reaped into the reaping room by FOS Chaos, Foss Chaos. Foss Chaos. Yeah, if you guys want to put any Jack Parsons research, I heard he had a project. I've heard of his project, but I just have the name. No, was there one? I don't. This clip was reaped from Aeon, or by Aeon, from the Oxford Union Address. 2509 awe related to predator prey. Also the nursing mother child. It calls to you. Calls to you. Ha.
So then you could imagine, I have this cottage in Northern Ontario, and we're fortunate. It's dark there, and so you can go down to the dock at night, and in the clear sky, you can see the vast array of the infinite heavens arrayed above you, and it's something that people who live in cities really don't get to experience anymore. They don't experience the sunset, which we also go out on our boat and watch pretty much every day. And that puts you in touch with what inspires awe. And that's not a propositional experience, that's a pre-propositional experience, and it's a deep biological experience. It's embedded in the prey response to a predator in part, because if you feel awe, sometimes you can feel that with music. A lot of people who are high in openness to experience will feel that quite frequently under the effect of aesthetic experiences, interestingly enough. Their hair stands on end, that's piloerection, that's
Good night, Shed. Here's a fun fact. When I would spend too much time in the shed smoking, leaving her in the house, she would go in the room she wasn't supposed to and nudge the door open and take things and then chew on them. And when I came in the other night, she was chewing on this, of all things. Right in the love seat over there. It's Lost Dogs, the remaster compilation from Pearl Jam. Go figure, right? What is this? I don't know.
Couldn't lance a pimple without an electric vibrating scalpel with automatic drain and suture. Soon we'll be operating by remote control on patients we never see. We'll be nothing but button pushers. All the skill is going out of surgery, all the know-how and make do. Did I ever tell you about the time I performed an appendectomy with a rusty sardine can? And once I was caught short without instrument one and removed an uterine tumor with my teeth. That was in the upper Effendi, and besides, the wench is dead.
That happens. And I noted some very, very powerful experiences.
Wanted to throw back in this Langan shit, because it's good. And I don't know, it's, what do they call it? A recursion. Yeah.
When there are curfews in Quebec, 2 years after the pandemic started, with a vaccination rate of nearly 80%. When BC is still limiting social gatherings. When we are putting tremendous and unsustainable strain on all the complex systems that have served us.
Is merely another illusion of thought. And when you see that, the person you believe you're
evil, and it won't recognize its own existence, and it won't, because evil is anti-existence. All right, basically, it hates existence and it wants to go out of existence, right? But when you take a bunch of evil and it won't recognize its own existence, and it won't recognize the existence of anything else, and it won't recognize its own existence, and it won't recognize the existence of anything else, and it won't recognize its own existence, and it won't recognize the existence of anything else. It's very
emancipate your mental slavery. Save against mental slavery. You can choose survival. You only get to pick one. You can choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Save versus mental slavery. Here we go. Survivalists, 5. Sorry. Socialists, 8. You'll make it through if you have a hat. If you have hat. Am I a socialist? I don't know, but I got the hat on. Sophists, 2. But you hard folks, double 7s, 14. Congrats. There was something else I wanted to deliver on. What was it? Well, it was under Logos and a Decker. Oh yeah, the War of the Worlds thing. They make you cover, like, remember how the humans win War of the Worlds? They make the penguins wear the masks. No, they would make the animals in the cages. And the penguins walk free because they're all wearing masks when they're serving me. Right. Metropolitan, that... Oh, I've decided I want to join a church. I want to be a metropolitan of Jordan Peterson's church like him. Because, he made one. So... why can't I be it's the church, like the thing is, he don't follow stupid rules. That's the one thing. So Chad fed me the clip. It's in the Discord somewhere. I don't have it. I couldn't find it. I looked. I found other things. I got distracted. Thank you to the Shadow Cabal of production executives to make all this possible. You can join them by Patreon, Substack, PayPal, Cash App, whatever. I got ways. Hit me up. You're here to rescue you. Okay, so it's part 3, the Return of the Sith. We already did the Darth Maul endearment story. That's true. Okay, we're getting paint out, are we? Okay. Paint. Dags. I have to go dig up why when he talks about the diffuse aggregate graphs and how it turns out looking like a tree when you hold on to certain things, and that's the monkey mind memory tree, that certain things, they become like branches in your memory that when you climb into your past up and down into the roots of your mind. Paint. We're opening that in Paint, not in the browser window. Right. You hit edit to do. Oh, that's big. Look at that. We'll just make a new one. Not so big. Okay, here we go. Where's Paint? Is this Paint? This is Paint. Look at this. Oh, what are we doing? Human Telos. Okay, here's the deal. This is complex, and I haven't ever tried to tell anybody before in totem. So this is the first draft. Okay. Here we go. Let's take a brush. What kind of brush you want? Well, it's Human Telos, so let's use the fancy calligraphy one. Okay. Now, as a human, what it's like being human is you have a limited amount of awareness. Like you consider the thing that you consider yourself is formulated of the swirling ball of 5 sensory inputs. Like you get the eyeballs, you get the ear holes, you get the fingers, and like the whole, like your skin is one organ. So don't use deodorant, antiperspirant with aluminum in it, because that's stupid, because it goes in your brain hole and gives you Alzheimer's maybe, but it's not proven. It's a maybe. This is not medical advice. Anyway, you get the skin organ, and you get the taste, you get the tongue stuff, you get some of that. Okay, and all these things are constantly sensing things, and they swim into this one big soup of data. And the thing that aggregates all of that data into one coherent experience, you consider yourself. Okay, now, with all of that data, not only do you get that data in, but it gets stored in different places in this weird, big, funky meat sack. Pink goo, mainly. But we got this really cool gray thing right here. I think it's your medulla oblongata, and that's fun for everyone to say. So, you're getting all these sensates, and it's stored into a coherent experience. And, like, this experience has a standard frequency. Like, when everything is humming like it normally hums, that's your standard operating frequency. And like if you ingest substances that change the chemical balance in the brain, then you alter that operating frequency. Some people try to cause an indigo when they Human Telos. Okay. So we are the things that adapt our environment to suit us as best we can. It's like our big advancement on survival. We get all these sensates, they store in the memories, and then the memories become this web of knowledge and presuppositions and like things we know to be true, like operating protocols, essentially. And the thing about the operating protocols is they're context generated by the variations in the stimuli received by your 5 sensory organs. Then like they make a big deal about how if you go different places, it turns on different genes in you. Your context shapes you in that way. And that shapes your web of presupposition, your functional axioms, like this works, stored. Our brains are automating machine. We're automating automatons. They genetically engineer the monkeys that end up building the robots. So to make the perfect slave. Terraforming. Terramar. What? Human Telos, Part 3. Remember, Embody. Shawshank is no agency. You're here to rescue you. All right, back to Human Telos, Part 3. Okay, so you're a human. That you're a context-based automaton, which means like you do something once, and then you do it again, and you do something very finite and intricate, like picking up a die, spinning it, and showing the number to the camera. Like that motion, your brain, if you do it, the first time it takes all your attention, and you spend less and less attention as they get worn as the automating machine. So like anything you do, including being a giant douchebag on the internet, you get better and better at the more you do it, because the wiring gets better. And then you can, as the wiring becomes consistently consistent, it can fragmentally differentiate to find new features and functions that it didn't know were even available, just because it doesn't want to be like that guy over there. Okay, so that's like the internal experience of being a human. Now, these contextual knowledge-based, no, don't save it. The contextual knowledge bases that we build, like this is the way the world works, this is how reality is. They're adaptive. Like if tomorrow, like we woke up on the ceiling, in 3 months we'd be functional again, and in 6 years we'd have it down. That we would be adapted to that new environment. And the problem is a lot of the information we're using to adapt ourselves to the environment is targeted so as to make us feel insufficient without making a purchase. And so all these waves of cascading insufficiency and whatever to milk, they're milking us with it. I don't know what they're doing with the human attention, who it's feeding, but it doesn't either, because evil cannot see itself. It does not recognize itself. It's incoherent. Incoherence. Cohere. Stick together. Cohere. Cohere and conspire. Breathe together. We're moving on to human telos, the information webs that we constellate, and the faulty information. The thing is that they gave it to us in Ollie North form, right? You got, here's what you know, and then here's what you don't know. Here's what you know that you don't know. It's like, that's the thing I could know, but I don't know it. That's there. And then there's the things you don't know that you could know. And then there's the fun layer of things that you don't know you will, like, the unknown unknowns is I think how it came out in the thing we were presented with. But so in order to operate, you need what you know, and you need what you know you don't know to be something you can deal with. But you don't need any of this other bullshit, generally. You need a functional cosmology that addresses your interaction with the unknown unknown in the manner that makes you not insane. And I don't, sanity and coherence, let's try that. But that's what I mean by insane. Incoherent, because yes, that's fine. That works. So to operate, in general, everyone needs a cosmology. And for cosmology, it's just an integration of the existence of the unknown unknowns in a way that allows proper functioning. So, and now, to me, just little old me, that's what religions serve. They offer cosmologies. And I'm having a real problem with the Christian one at the moment. And since that's probably who my Christian friends are the ones most likely to be watching, the thing is, okay, so you take the Bible, you got like the history of governing Jews, and then Jesus, and then church history up until Revelation, and then it stops. So like, and you got the Constitution, and you got like 20-something amendments, and you got a thing built in there to reset them, but you just stop. You just let it run. Let's build the third temple, guys, because we gotta find out what. No. Okay. So yeah, that's I got like all my Christian friends are basically ignoring the Revelations bit right now, Oh, it was some guy's hallucination. So I say, what do you got then? What do you have for me then? What is Christianity offering then? And like the best I've gotten so far is a complaint in like part 2 in the comments that like stewards of the earth and to bring about the New Jerusalem is the Christian telos. And that's not the one that's been communicated to me via The Simpsons Ned Flanders or personal experience. So if you guys need help with your PR, let's talk. I need money, and you have tithers, and I guess you're not providing health care anymore. You don't turn the lights on and bring the homeless, and they might have COVID. You're just a place that allows one flavor of the freedom of worship offered by the United States Corporation. Wow, dude. So the point, humanity needs a telos, and like space, the final frontier, isn't gonna cut it when like the best we got is rich people pop shotting out to the mothership before they do this to the rest of us. And if it's going to be bring about New Jerusalem, let's run with that. That's great. If it's stewards of the earth, let's run with that. That's great. But we need good people not doing nothing. And I need a model for that. And the model I have for Jesus is to go get crucified. So I'm going to keep saying what I think is true on YouTube until they crucify the channel or send assassins for me. Or Time Cake, David Vogel, calligraphy. Okay, David Vogel says, we have Hive Mind chat, guys. We have to acknowledge the Hive Mind chat. Hi, guys. Patty J. Yeah, we did the savings dose for you, Patty. On a bigger scale, stable environments lead to greater species differentiation. Oh, I don't know if I called it out, but that stuff I was reading from the Stolen Journal is exactly like Karen Wong from the Meaning Code describes the Wolfram model when she's talking to the music guy, which is a clip I should find for you because I have that superpower right now. Oh, yeah. Screw tape letters. I wanted to, like, you can, here's a video correspondence clip. What's going on there? For Pastor Paul Vanderclay. Hey, Paul. Why don't you read one half of Screwtape Letters, and I'll read the other half, and we'll release it as an audio book. Split the Prophet's Livingstone Grimgris. Eh? Good. Thank you, David. Would that which facilitates the proper management of the known and unknowns be the unknown known? Okay. That which facilitates the proper management is the unknown known. Ooh, maybe. If the unknown known is the intentionally forgotten, I could run with that Time Cake. And Time Cake reminds me to remind you to remember, Embody. Not this. You're here to rescue you. You know, people are always worried about in time travel, disrupting the timeline, ruining the timeline. Thanks to Dimitri Martin, we all know that we're time travelers right now. Every fucking moment is the moment of a lifetime, altering timelines, right and left. Like, your failure right now to do something productive has destroyed so many potentially beautiful futures. You would be weeping like Liam Neeson at the railroad scene of Schindler's List. Can we do that? We can try. Not with pictures. Hey! Whoa! Ah!
The incision is ready, Doctor. Dr. Benway forces the cup into the incision and works it up and down. Blood spurts all over the doctors, the nurse, and the...
Leave your platform. Clearly label it. Maiden name first, then your surname. Do not bring your baggage with you. It will follow you later. Leave your luggage on the platform. Clear.
But he says not just the forgotten, but also that which cannot be known because it is that which makes knowing possible. Why would that which makes knowing possible be unable to be unknown, be unable to be known? I don't see why that would be the case. If you want to like leave a comment, dissertation, I can address it in the future video. I don't know that I've delivered. I did. I actually got like half of the human telos notion out, at least the first pass at it. So please don't ship me off to